Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to a Disney World Q&A video. I went to Disney back in December 2021. It was supposed to be in December 2020, but we all know how that went. But I finally got to go back, and obviously I'm from the UK. The borders only opened to the US in November, so I was pretty quick to get over there once we knew we could. I had an incredible time. I vlogged the whole thing, which you can find a link to down below, a whole playlist of videos. But I put on Instagram for you guys to ask some questions about the trip and general experience. So it's time to answer them now. Also, what do we think of the new background? I made this adorable Pinterest wall. I'm obsessed with it. We also appreciate how perfect this cardigan would be if I was at Festival of the Arts right now, but I'm not. Maybe that's not a bad thing because there seems to be a lot of figment there this year. I think we all know how I feel about that little purple dragon. Okay, let's start with, did you have any COVID anxiety before or during the trip? When we went, it was when Omicron or whatever was really kicking off, in the sense that it got to Friday night and we were leaving Saturday morning, and I was still like, I don't know if we're gonna get to go. Like, are they gonna close the borders overnight? The cases were just like, in terms of testing, we went at the worst possible time for testing because there was so much to do. We had to test one day before and do it on a video call observed, and then we also had to test to return home to the UK 2 days before we flew. Might have been 3 days, but that test has gone now anyway. And then we had to do a test when we arrived back in the UK and isolate until we got a negative result. So obviously it all worked out and we did get all the negative tests, but yeah, I was very nervous in the lead up to the trip. I basically did nothing for the 2 weeks before we went away because I was so paranoid about getting COVID, which is a bit of a, you know, a downer. I didn't really fully enjoy the Christmas lead up because of that, but the trip was obviously worth it. And then whilst we were there, honestly, I felt so safe. When we went, you had to wear a mask indoors, so that's all like the shops, the rides, the restaurants, until like you get to your table. And I found, I know this is my experience, but I found that we were really like conscious about it, and we barely saw anyone not wearing their masks. It's very different as well to the UK, where everyone has to wear a mask there, there's no exceptions, whereas in the UK you can have a medical exemption, and then also children don't have to wear them, I think until they're 10 or 11, which personally I think is a little bit too old. Most of the kids in America seemed fine with it. I felt completely safe whilst we were there. The only time was when the fireworks happened, and obviously like Main Street is completely crowded, so we decided to just kind of like sit it out, and I stood to the side when we watched it, right on the sidewalk, so there was like not many people around us. So we did that twice, but then the other times watching the fireworks, we just watched them back at the resort. We stayed at the Grand Floridian, which was insane, and had an amazing view. We just couldn't see the projections, but hopefully when I go in May, things will be all peachy keen and I can see them properly up close. But like, it's a pretty small sacrifice to make for the most incredible trip. Someone said favorite meal or snack from the trip. Without a doubt, it was this amazing gingerbread cookie sandwich thing from the Germany Pavilion in Epcot. I think it was a special thing for Christmas, which is really sad because honestly, not even 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. It was these two super soft gingerbread cookies, and then they had caramel frosting in the middle and a caramel drizzle, and it just blew my mind. And then in terms of favorite meal, Cinderella's Royal Table was amazing. I was super skeptical that the food was going to be like basic theme park food and you were paying this big premium just to be in the castle, but the food was amazing. So my first course was this vegan cheese plate, best vegan cheese I've ever had. My second course was this kind of like potato, what was it? I just know it was incredible. It was like a chickpea potato salad. Again, it was absolutely amazing. And then my final course was the Jacques and Gus cheesecake, which was so good as well. Like the meal as a whole, we all said it was the best food we had on the trip. Yes, it was expensive. I think it was around $60 per person and you pay in advance. But for 3 courses, to be in the castle, and then Cinderella came around as well. We had a magic wand. It was an amazing experience, and I would definitely recommend doing it at least once in your life. Was the Mickey Christmas After Hours worth the big price tag? Okay, so the After Hours party was in place of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party this year, so it was a 4-hour event instead of a, I think, 6-hour event normally pre-COVID, and so it was a very different experience to, I'm guessing, what it would have been before. Me personally, I have always wanted to go to a Christmas party. I think since like 2016 I've been watching vlogs of this. It was one of those things that I just really wanted to do, and we looked at the price and I think it was something insane, like $200 plus per person for a 4-hour event, which is mental. But then we kind of were thinking about it and we were like, so you get unlimited complimentary snacks, so the Mickey bars, the Mickey ice cream sandwiches, the popcorn, the drinks. You get to see a parade, the only parade that has happened in Disney World since pre-COVID. You get to see a castle show, a special fireworks show, just be on Main Street with the snow falling down. You also got complimentary Cheryl's cookies and hot chocolates. I think someone figured out you had to have like 35 Mickey bars to make back the cost of your ticket. Obviously we didn't quite do that. For us, all of that was totally worth doing, and we're not going to be there every Christmas. Like some people, they can always just go back. This for us was like the ultimate trip we'd waited so long for. We were pulling out all the stops. It was just the most magical night. The only thing I wish was that it started a little bit earlier, because it was from 9 till 1 a.m. and we left at 12:15 because coming from the UK, we were pretty jet lagged and we had done everything we wanted to do by that point. So obviously we didn't get like the full value of the party, but it was emptying out quite a bit before then, because I feel like a lot of people, it was just too late. I have no regrets. Was it expensive? Yes, insanely, but it was a wonderful experience I will remember for many years to come, and again, like a big bucket list item ticked off. Someone said, what was your favorite day of the trip? I would probably say, well, this is hard. It's either going to be Alice's birthday at Magic Kingdom, which was just magical from start to end, or I would probably say the next day in Hollywood Studios, which is like my home park obviously, and I was just blown away by how amazing Hollywood Studios looked at Christmas time. They did it in like a really subtle old school way that was still very well themed, and it was just very classic feeling, and I just loved it. And then obviously I got to meet up with Bron in the evening, which was just wonderful to finally be reunited after so long. Had the Woody's grilled cheese, which isn't as good anymore actually, by the way. They changed the recipe, so I'm actually more about the vegan chili bowl than the grilled cheese now. I know it's a big shocker, I made that grilled cheese my personality for a while, but here we are. Obviously all the days I'm talking about I did vlog, so again, link down below. Is Genie Plus worth it, and is it worth buying Lightning Lane or just hitting them up first thing in the morning? We went pretty soon after Genie Plus had been introduced for the first time, and we said we definitely wanted to do it for Alice's birthday in Magic Kingdom, just to make that like extra special. So I would say for Magic Kingdom it is definitely worth doing. It's $15 per person for the day, and you can book one experience at a time. Like the old fast pass system, you will have a return time, so it was pretty easy to do. You could purchase it before 7 a.m. and then at 7 a.m. was when you could make your first reservation. So we did it for a couple of days. I would say it was 100% worth it for Magic Kingdom, because there are so many rides there, so we did a lot in the day. I think we used it about 6 or 7 times, which was really good. But then we did it for Hollywood Studios the next day, and I think we only used it for 3 attractions, because obviously there are less attractions at studios and most of the return times go really quick because of there not being as many attractions. You could get your first one for like a 1 p.m. slot for Slinky Dog Dash, and then by the time you've ridden it, the next available return time for say Smuggler's Run might not be till 7 p.m. I would say for Magic Kingdom, definitely worth it. I don't think it is for the other parks, just because you're not going to get your money's worth, and you might only be going on like 2 or 3 attractions by using the Genie Plus, which is not worth it for me. That's like paying $7.50 per ride, which then links to the Lightning Lane experiences. We did not get any Lightning Lanes. For me, that's a total rip-off. You are paying, I think, between $12 and $15 to ride one attraction. That's just insane. So I know that the Rise of Resistance one always sold out. For a family of 4, you're talking like $60 plus, and I could see if like you were there for one day, you really wanted to ride it, and it was an incredible attraction. But for me personally, get there at rope drop, get them done while the queues are as short as they're going to be, and then use your Genie Plus for the rest of the day, or just queue up like a regular person. Linking on to that, what are your top 3 favorite rides that you rode while you were there? Absolutely blown away by Rise of the Resistance. I wouldn't consider myself a Star Wars fan. Like, I've seen all of the movies now. Well, no, I haven't. I've seen 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nothing else. I tried the prequels, they didn't work for me. But obviously I worked at a Star Wars shop on my DCP, so I feel like I have like an emotional connection to it, so I enjoy it, but I don't really know like all the background and all the fandom stuff. But even my mum, who has never seen a single Star Wars movie, said that it was incredible. Like, the experience from start to end is so immersive, and there's so many different parts to it. It's so long as well. So we queued for about an hour before the experience started. Also loved Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Was not expecting to be as obsessed with it as I was. We were singing that "Nothing Can Stop Us Now." We were singing that song all the time. Almost our theme song of the trip, you could say. So that one again used some amazing technology. It was just so fun and immersive. I liked Great Movie Ride, but I'm not sad that it's gone because we got that in its place. Like, I would love both, obviously, but I'm not like, oh, bring back GMR. And then my 3rd favourite ride was probably, I mean, it's gotta be Flight of Passage. Look at me going with all the modern ones. I do love the classics, like A Ride Around the Carousel is amazing. Peter Pan Flying Over London always brings a tear to my eye. But yeah, those 3 are really just doing the most right now. Advice for vlogging for the first time in Walt Disney World. So many people are vlogging, so you should not feel bad about it at all. Just fully whack up the camera and enjoy it, but also, on the flip side, don't let vlogging take away from your experience of being there, especially if you're not a local who can go all the time. I feel like I've come to that stage now where I'm good at balancing capturing the memories but also making the memories in real life. So it definitely takes some getting used to. If you have got a camera that has a flip screen, that is ideal, but if not, don't invest in one. Just film on your phone, because it's really important to be able to see yourself when you're talking to the camera, to make sure that everything is in focus, you're getting the right shot, there's not like some weird stuff in the background. But also do it for yourself. Don't do it for numbers, to grow a following, because then you're going to be kind of changing the way you experience your trip for people that you literally don't know. My vlogs from my recent trip, they did pretty good. Not as good as my vlogs from way back in 2019, but that was probably like my YouTube peak, because I'd done all my story time videos and I was vlogging mainly Disney content. Now I know I'm a bit more like diverse in what I post. For me, I personally just love vlogging Disney trips to look back on in the future, and the views don't really matter anymore, kind of. I'm getting there. How do you get such incredible photos? Tips for posing, just like general questions about taking photos. So thank you very much. Firstly, I use my Canon G7X to take the photos of myself because that is the best quality. It's also what I use for vlogging, but it's quite funny when people ask me like tips for having really good photos, and it's like, well, I'm not actually the one taking the photo. It's gonna be my sister or my mum or whoever I'm there with, because I'm in the photo. So what I normally do is before my trip, I kind of go through my feed, because I follow a lot of Disney people, and I save photos or like poses or locations that inspire me or I want to kind of do similar vibes to, and then I'll go to that spot or kind of like the setup I've imagined, and I will have my sister or my mum stand in and then like take a photo and be like, this is what I want, so now I'm going to stand in this place, can you please hold the camera in that setup, and then we can take it. But I will say we take so many photos. For like one Instagram photo that ends up on the feed, there's probably like 50 to 60 outtakes of me just looking like a rat. When it comes to the editing, I actually use a preset from the lovely Once Upon a Bron, so her shop will be down below, but I'm sure you already know about that. I just apply it straight away, and that is how I get my photos. Oh, I have like a really dead foot right now. It's like tingling because I've been sitting on it. Someone said, what do you need to get into the parks COVID wise? Nothing, apart from when I was there you needed a mask to go on the indoor attractions, and they did have the disposable ones at the ready to give to people if they didn't have them. You don't need any proof of vaccination or negative test like you do in Disneyland Paris right now. Kind of wish they did, but you just need yourself and a park reservation. It's not enough to just have a ticket right now. You need a reservation for the park you're going into for that day to be able to get in. First and last day of the trip must-dos. Honestly, fireworks. It really bookends any kind of Disney World trip because it encapsulates the magic, because you are the magic. Let's just talk about actually enchantment really quick. I was dubious going in. I saw the fireworks show on the official, you know, Disney Park stream they put up, was not convinced. Then I gradually fell in love with the song You Are the Magic, and I would say the same kind of holds true when I saw it in person. I loved most of it, apart from this weird instrumental section they have in the middle, which just kind of falls flat. It's not happily ever after, it never will be, but it is still pretty magical. And by the time we got to our last night, I was bawling my eyes out watching it. Those lyrics do hit, especially you have traveled from so far and now you're close enough to feel it. That hit a little too hard. Okay, if someone has only been once or the other person has never been, would you recommend it currently? Yes, because I honestly do feel like the experience is pretty much the same as it was pre-COVID, aside from the fact that you're not getting to meet characters and give them a hug, which I feel like for most adults isn't like a make or break moment of the trip. The only thing missing still is the daytime parade, which is coming back very soon, and Fantasmic, which is also coming back very soon. So I would say a trip for later this year would absolutely be a good idea. It is looking pretty crazy with the crowd levels right now though, considering February is supposed to be the quiet month, and I'm looking on Disney Experience because I look at the wait times quite a lot, even when I'm not going. And it seems to be pretty insane because everyone has their delayed COVID trips to go on. There's just no quiet season for Disney anymore. But yeah, I would say absolutely it's worth going right now for the 50th anniversary. Although the celebrations aren't necessarily the level that we would want in terms of paying tribute to the actual park and its history, it is an amazing time to visit Disney World. Someone said, how are the crowd levels? And honestly, I don't feel like they're restricting them at all anymore. I think it is just like back to pre-COVID, but I didn't find them overwhelming at all, and we got to ride everything we wanted to. The longest wait time was Rise, and that was still only just over an hour. They were pretty good considering everyone's like, oh, don't go in December, don't go pre-Christmas. I had a wonderful time and I would go at that time again. Did the absence of CRPs at World Showcase hit you hard? So CRPs, if you don't know, are the cultural representative program participants, and they are the people who before COVID staffed the whole World Showcase. So if you went to the UK and you dined at the Rose and Crown pub, you will be served by people from the UK on that programme. It was sad to kind of walk past and just see Americans, not that I don't love Americans, wearing those generic flag shirts, because it felt like the character of World Showcase had been taken away. So for us personally, we didn't feel like we wanted to really eat in any of the restaurants in World Showcase because it wouldn't be the authentic experience. And even in the shops, I didn't feel as much of a draw to like be in there and soak up the atmosphere and even talk to the cast members because they're not from those countries. So I would say they absolutely need to prioritise bringing back the CRPs as soon as they can. It feels like it's time now, and surely an announcement is coming soon. I have my fingers crossed for anyone who is hoping to apply. I will not, just putting it out there right now. It was really sad. I still love my day at Epcot and wandering around, but there is a kind of atmosphere and magic and just like immersiveness missing right now, I will say. Oh my god, I can't feel my leg. I need to stop sitting on my leg because this is getting ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to Disney World for my 21st. Any recommendations for a cute mimosa brunch? I would say absolutely for a brunch, go to the Grand Floridian Cafe. I would assume that they serve mimosas, but the aesthetic is impeccable. The Mickey waffles, the whole just layout of it, the way they plate their food, it's beautiful, and it's not too expensive either. So I'd 100% say that is where you should go, and happy birthday in advance if it's not been yet. I don't know. I put my question box up for this on the start of February, so about 2 weeks ago. So hopefully you haven't been yet. Someone said, what was your mum's favourite ride? She's so sweet. I am glad to see all the love for Mama Torbs coming through. I'm going to try and FaceTime her now. I know she's away, and then just see if she wants to talk to the vlog. Watch me get rejected by my own mum. It's gonna be awkward, isn't it? Hello!
Hello!
I'm making a video right now, and someone asked a question. They wanted to know what was your favourite ride of the trip.
Oh my goodness. Well, oh my goodness, I was actually on video. I love Thunderbound. You know that. I don't know anything about Star Wars, but obviously that was quite incredible.
Yeah, Rise of the Resistance, it was insane.
And I think I was like, oh, I don't know why we're queuing for this.
Yes, you went into that line and you were like, queuing an hour for Star Wars ride, and I'm just like, don't know it at all.
But I came off of there and I did say, oh my goodness, that was so amazing.
Who would have thought Mum's favourite ride would be a Star Wars ride?
Saying that was my...
And then also someone, they did ask, I already answered this, but just to get your opinion, was the Christmas party worth the price?
If there'd been wine, it probably would have been.
If there'd been wine. Okay, that would have taken it to the next level.
Without wine.
So I was like, oh yeah, there's complimentary drinks included. And Mum was like, wine? I was like, no Mum, it's a Magic Kingdom party.
Party without any wine is, was it worth it? I suppose it was a lovely experience to do with you and Alice. I mean, probably say no, because actually it was just a few extra hours. But I'd also say yes, being there and the sun and being there after hours. But then people pay £150 to see a show, don't they?
So yes.
So in summary, yes, because it was something we haven't done before. Would I do it again? Probably not.
I think that's fair. I wouldn't be like, you have to do it every single year.
You know, we've waited so long, and unlikely to go back at that time of year. You in your lifetime, possibly, but probably not us. And like everything, I was just glad that I was there with you two. It was just so...
Well, thank you very much for your contribution.
Okay, take care.
Okay, have a good day. Bye. Bye. Wow, bonus concept from Mama Torb. She delivered. How was wearing a mask in the heat? Was it manageable? Like I said, a mask only had to be worn indoors, so whenever you're indoors at Disney, there's pretty good AC. Didn't feel like it bothered me at all. It never detracted from the experience. If anything, I was happy to be able to wear a mask inside because I felt a lot safer. How many outfits do you plan per day? Generally only one. On a special occasion, there'll be two. But yeah, I'm not like come with a full-on backpack, changing left, right, and center just for the content. There is a level. Thoughts on the 50th celebration snacks and merch? Well, there wasn't a lot of merch for us by the time we got there. I think there's genuinely more in the Disney Store shop on Oxford Street right now. So the snacks were pretty good. We didn't really try a whole bunch of them. I'm trying to think actually if we had any 50th snacks. Not that I recall, apart from having a Mickey bar and a 50th wrapper. But when I go back in May, if there's any that I really should try, let me know down below. I'm intrigued by that Plaza restaurant sundae, the huge one with the Mickey pretzel inside, but I don't know if Fee and Lee will be on board to try it. Do resort guests still get extra magic hours? When we were there, you could get in 30 minutes early every day, which was a real bonus because you got in obviously before so many other people, and you could get a major ride done by the time people were only just getting into the park. And then they had occasional extra magic hours in the evening, but like I said, we were pretty jet lagged, so we prioritized getting up early and going to the parks and hitting that rope drop over staying until the really late hours. We were back in our resort enjoying ourselves with Shark Tank on the TV, having a great time. And Mum got her glass of wine as well back at the resort, so don't worry, she didn't miss out. And then the final question I'm going to say is, what surprised you about this trip? Honestly, for me, it's that the magic is still there. Yes, the Disney park experience has changed with the whole like Genie Plus, having to wear masks inside when we were there, not having a daily parade, not having Fantasmic, but for me it felt just as amazing as being there before. Yes, there were occasions when we went to like the back end of Hollywood Studios and there was a whole bunch of things just closed, but that was a very minor kind of detail. Yes, I would love those stores to be stocked again, especially It's a Wonderful Shop, because that was one of my stores. But yeah, the magic was really there. I did not miss the parade at all. I actually love the cavalcades, and I prefer cavalcades to a full-on parade, if I'm honest, because it's little like sprinkles of magic throughout the day. I've always resented having to get a spot for a parade like 30 to 45 minutes before and then just baking out in the heat at the hottest point of the day at like 2:30, 3 in the afternoon. I will be watching it when I'm back in May, obviously, but I wasn't like, oh, you know, the day wasn't complete because we don't have that. I feel like we went at a really good time where mostly everything was up and running again. The Disney magic was very much still alive, and I was kind of questioning if it would be there because of things you see online, but I feel like maybe the people posting about that are locals or people who get to go a whole lot more, who are just kind of like focusing on what's not there, whereas for us coming from the UK, not having been for 2.5 years, it was just amazing to be swept up in it and loving life. And I did cry a lot on the trip, actually, just out of, you know, pure emotion of being back and just in my happy place again. I just loved it so much. I think you can tell. I really can't wait to be back in, we're in double digits now, under 100 days. Crazy! Thank you so much for watching, especially if you got to this park, 'cause I feel like it's probably been quite a long video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below any questions that I didn't answer or you would like me to talk about in a future video. Subscribe for more fun, more everyday magic, and also those Disney trips coming up very soon, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!